Hello everybody and welcome to the first official episode of the Dwarf Fortress Let's Play. Today we're going to be going on to the main part of the series. The tutorial episodes will come on the side on their own and won't specifically be about this official fortress. Saying that, I will not be playing with an aquifer. The reason for is I'm going to make a separate tutorial video on how to get around them, how to use them, and maybe even, using them to your advantage, should you want to flood something, or make a death trap, or whatever you want to do. We'll use them as an energy supply, because that's always a helpful, little thing as well. Saying that, I won't be using one. I won't have one in here. Now, they're on the map, but I won't have one for my fort. So I'm sorry if you wanted me to have one, but that's not going to happen. Now then, moving on. I do have a little, I don't know how to say it, but this is a nice little area. And the reason I like it is because it's kind of like in an, if we look up here, it's kind of like inside this mountain range, and the only real way into it is through this river. I kind of like that. I don't really know why I like that, but that's interesting to me. I like, it just seems cool. It seems like just a fun spot to be at because of that. Now, on that note, I'm not quite sure exactly where I want to be in here yet. I'm actually thinking about going along this river here, not this river, but this lake, because I kind of want to try and make a fishing colony. Now that might sound stupid, but it's interesting to me, because I want to be able to make like docks and have my dwarves out there just, like fishing on it, lots of food, lots of seafood, stuff like that. Would seem, I don't know, a good idea to me. Now, it could end terribly, and I could have lots of dwarves killing themselves by jumping in the water, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. And it's got multiple biomes, so it's alright. So this little area in here is inside of a little mountain range. And now I still have all the standard enemies. I've not added any other neighbors. I might, if this fortress fails, and if it is requested, add other races to this, to make things a little bit more difficult, get more trading partners, whatever may come along, but not right now. So, yeah, this area has flux, deep metals, shallow metals, and there's no aquifer in this little area either. So if I ever want to make another fortress in this area, I know there's no aquifer here, so it's all good, because I fucking hate aquifers. They're little pieces of shit. Moderate vegetation, woodland trees, wilderness. It's warm. I'd rather it be warm than freezing, because I don't want the lake to freeze over, because that would suck. Literally, that would be terrible. To have all my little dwarves out there be like, hey, we're fishing, and then, hey, we're frozen, and then everything to just fail. Could be worse, could be better, who knows. So we're going to embark on here. And we got all the standard stuff. If you don't want to prepare carefully, you just want to get out there, I'd suggest using the Mayday or Lazy Noob. Not sure about the other two, never used them, but you can't go wrong. And the way I explained it in the tutorial with the peasants and whatnot is the way I usually go. 2 miners, woodcutter, carpenter. I think in this case we're not going to raise up as carpenter much, and I'm going to show you why here in a minute. You'll see. It's a neat idea somebody had told me about in the comments of the last one, so you can go check that out now if you don't want to wait to find out. Even though you won't be waiting long, but if you're an impatient motherfucker, you might want to do it. So we're going to get grower, herbalist, brewer, combining those because, honestly, none of them do a lot at one time. And then we're going to get our medical guy. I think that's about it. I think that's all we're really going to get here. There's no real dangerous areas here, so I'm not really going to start out with a military dwarf. Plus, I kind of want to save the points for the items, iron anvil and all that. So let's get our war dogs and then our cats. Not a hunting dog, a war dog. And then our cats. Now, what somebody had told me about in the last videos is 9 times out of 10 you start out with pigtail fiber, thread, cloth bags, and rope. And these are very expensive, 12, 14, 20 points each. Well, there's a way around this to get points back and still get those items. So let's remove all these. We went from like 30 something points to 325. Now on the topic of saving points, tower cap, buckets, splints, and crutches. We can remove those as well. I'm going to show you why. Now with the pigtail fiber is expensive, so let's look at cave spider silk. These are much less expensive than the pigtail fiber. Why? I haven't the faintest fucking clue. I'm not gonna lie on that. But should we complain? No, because we get to save points. So we're gonna get the bags, ropes, thread. Probably forgetting something. Don't really mind. Now with the buckets, splints, and crutches, we saved. They were 10 points each. And the reason we put the carpenter down to a lower level is because we can go down to wood, which are 3 points each. And the carpenter is not going to have much to do when we first start out. So we're going to get a couple logs, maybe about 10. There we go. We're up to 300 points. We've got all that we had before, and we've got some logs for our carpenter to work with when we get there, so we can have something to do. We have everything we had before with more points. I think it's a win-win for everybody around. Now with those points, I'm going to get more seeds because I kind of want more. I like having a lot of seeds to start out with. Why? I like farms. Farms are good. Farms are always fantastic. Truly, truly fantastic. If you know where that's from, I salute you. So we're just going to get more of these. We're not going to get any ant brain. Ant brain. Ugh. Not going to worry about that. And now that I'm thinking about it, since we're going to be starting out kind of in a wilderness area, and we're also going to be starting out on the river, and I kind of want to make the docks, I'm going to start out with more wood. Maybe about 40. I think that way I can start getting the docks out. I might even start building my fort above ground, kind of on the water. I don't know. It seems interesting. I want to try that. It's kind of a dumb idea to start it out in the Let's Play, but who cares? You guys get to see me fail if it doesn't work, and you'll probably get to learn from my mistakes. Now then, another thing we can do to get free stuff for less points is when you get meat, it doesn't just get thrown on the wagon. It gets put into a barrel. So every different type of animal meat gets put into its own barrel. Now we can abuse this by getting, let's say, a prepared yak eye. Now that prepared yak eye, if we get 2 of them, is going to get its own barrel. If we only got 1 or 2, no, I think it's 3. If we only get 1 or 2, it gets put in like a bag. So if we put 3 of these, we get a free barrel along with a little bit extra food. Now let's go down to what's else cheap? Prepared mountain goat brain. We'll get 3 of these. There we go. More food and an extra barrel. We can abuse this, and we can do it as much as we want with as many different animals as we have available, but I'm not going to sit here and go through that over and over. But what I am going to do is I'm going to spend some points getting some farm animals. It's particularly ewes and rams. I like ewes and rams and some chickens, mainly because the ewe and rams, they procreate a lot, meaning we get a lot of food from them. Lots of babies, which we can turn into food. We're also going to get chickens because eggs are good. Eggs are really good. Especially once we get a cook making stuff, he'll be able to use those eggs. And once he uses the eggs, we get a lot of prepared meals, which make the dwarves happy, which means they work faster, and everything's good all around. Where the hell are the chickens? Oh, there's so much stuff in this list, sometimes I can't find everything. Especially when I'm not paying attention and I won't shut up. Also, we're going to get a sow and a boar, which we don't have points for, so never mind. We'll just go with the chickens. A rooster and a hen. There we go. Now, we've got 40 extra points. I don't think we're going to go for any extra animals, but I will get a few more things, meat, just random stuff to get barrels, because barrels are good! Although, yeah, we need to get ale, and we didn't start out with ale and rum. So actually, I will remove those. And we're going to get a little bit of this. How much? Not much. That's not good. We'll remove some of these logs. We really don't need that many. And then it'll give us some more alcohol. Alcohol! Remember kids, if you're a dwarf, alcohol is good. If you're a dwarf. If you're a human, don't worry about it. If you're a dwarf, it's good. It's very good. So we're going to save this. Profile 1. I don't care about naming it right now. So let's embark. Not really going to choose a specific name. Whatever it comes up with, we'll go with it.
This will be our new home! Ha ha!
Haha! I have the sound sense mod. Installed, well not really installed, running. It's in the lazy noob pack. It's in the lazy noob pack under utilities right there. It's a good thing to use. I think it adds a little bit of interesting sound. I've never used it before. We're finding out now. But who cares, right? It's gonna take a second to start up. Now, Dwarf Fortress likes to pretend it's not responding. It's actually working. It's got a lot to do in the background. So, you have to wait on it sometimes, and that's fine. So, we'll see. Alright, now we're here in our little world. I'm gonna zoom in and out a little bit. And we're gonna hit tab once, twice, and we're gonna get rid of that. We don't really need that much. And there's a lot of water here. A lot more than I thought there would be. I really don't mind, actually. How deep is this water? It's 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 level, 4. Holy shit in a hat. Pretty deep. Pretty fucking deep. So, not gonna complain. To be fair, I think we'll be able to work this out pretty well. Actually, there's a fair bit of trees, fair bit of vegetation, and if anything attacks, it's not like they have a lot of room to go. I mean, if we start building out here, they'd have to go kind of around in here into this little whatever you call this. So, no, and the lake has an infinite amount of water because it flows in from the side, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's see what all we've started out with, though. Let's go to T. No, T. Now, on this, now I'm gonna have to explain this as we get to it. All of these letters on the side are hotkeys to do something. Announcements, buildings, civilization, designations. I'll explain these as we get to them, because there's a little bit too many to explain straight up. Now, when you do settle down, this little brown area right there that you see the dwarves around is the wagon. See, you fucking stupid windows. Is the wagon. Now, when you get the wagon, you also come with 2 pull animals. Usually horses or bulls or cows or whatever. But it looks like we got a stray yak bull and a stray yak bull. They're both male, so no breeding pair. Kind of sucks. Whatever. So, I fucking hate this game sometimes. Hey, you got 2 males. Sometimes you get 2 females. Sometimes you won't get any breeding pair. We'll probably slaughter them later, unless we get a female or we find a female. Now that we're here, though, V is for view units. So you can use hit V, and then you can scroll around, and the closest unit to your cursor, which is the yellow area, arrow X, will be selected. And now that I'm moving it out here, it's selecting whatever the closest, and it looks like there's rabbits around here, and badgers, and there's my animals. Now then, something with animals that they need to have, your own animals at least, that if they don't have, they'll starve to death, is a pen or a pasture. And that's what we're going to set up first, because I don't want our animals to starve. So to do that, we need to go to, I've not played it too much lately, you can't tell. You're going to hit I for zones, and then you're going to go to an area that you think, and you're going to make a square. You're going to hit enter once to start it, and then you're going to expand out, hit enter again, and we're going to have that area be a pen and a pasture. So we hit in again, set it as a pen / pasture, hit shift in, and then we're going to select what we want to be in it. So we're going to have the yak bulls, the roosters, hens, and all that. We're not going to put the cats and dogs. Cats and dogs don't need these. They just kind of eat whatever comes around. So now if we hit space again, the dwarves will start taking the stuff over there. Or they should be. Well, whatever. They'll do it on their own time. We'll pause again. Now we're going to go to B for buildings, W for workshops, and then C for a carpenter's workshop. Because we didn't start out with any buckets, splints, or anything like that, we're wanting to start getting those out quickly. So we're going to make the carpenter's workshop, put that up. Now before we unpause one last time, I think we're going to start digging down. I think it's going to be a good idea to start getting a lot of building materials, stone and the like. So we're going to choose an area. I think we're going to go to, so it's D for designations and then D for mine. Now we're not going to mine yet. we're actually going to build staircases going down. As you can see, everything has its own letter on the side. And downward staircase is J. So we're going to make a little area right here. It's 3 by 3 so the dwarves can get down it. We're going to hit I for up and down staircase, and we're going to go down a level. We're going to build it like that. And we're going to go down a couple levels until we hit stone. We might not hit stone right away, especially being so close to the lake. But just having an area that we can go down at is good enough for me for now. So now, while we're also on this menu, we're also going to go for T for chop down trees, and we're going to cut together some more wood. Now our carpenter is going to be doing all of this, at least as far as the gathering and stuff like that goes. So he's going to be spending his time between the two, which is good. It has him something to do. And we're also going to hit P for gather plants, and then we're going to gather all this in this area. We're going to kind of clear this area around the wagon out. I'll tell you why in a second when it gets done. We're going to hit escape, we're going to pause. Then our miners are going to go up here and they're going to start digging down. I'm not quite sure how fast they're going to do it, but they should be getting onto it. See, he's chopping down the trees. He's not gotten started on the workshop yet. I think he's more worried about that. We have the one dwarf who, as we can see, has got hide root. Not really sure what hide root is. Just probably standard stock and fair food. Nothing too infirm. These guys have been digging down. They've already hit stone. What have they hit? Limestone. Limestone's good. Limestone's a flux stone, if I remember. If you remember what I said about flux stone, it can be used to make steel. Now we just have to find hematite or some other kind of iron-bearing ore, and we'll be in business, won't we, kids? So let's see how they doing down here. Everything's going, seems to be going all right here. So let's go to Q. Yes, Q. So he did build the workshop. He has built the workshop. So we're going to, for him, we're going to go down to buckets. And we're going to make 3 of these. And we're going to find splints and crutches, and we're going to do all that real quick. Construct wooden splint. I'm going to make 3 of those. A is for new task. We're going to make 3 buckets, 3 splints, 3 crutches. Actually, Q, A. We'll make another crutch. Having 4 crutches, I think, is for the best. Now, if you see in the top corner, we have 5 idlers. That means we have 5 dwarves who are not working right now. And that includes our mining dwarves who have already finished up with their task. They've already dug down as far as I've told them to. Which is a good and a bad thing because, well, now they're not working. The dwarves like to work. They'll bitch about if you work them too much, but if you don't work them at all, they'll start getting pissed off. So we're going to have them digging out a little 3 by 3 area. Now down here we're going to start making a universal stockpile. Actually no, we're not going to make it down here. Down here would be a terrible place because when you have to move stone, because you can't put a stockpile on stones. We'll actually put it down in the sand layer. Since we're on the sand layer, we're also going to do one other thing. We're going to start a farm. So we're going to have this area right here. We're going to dig. These are going to be the hallways for this floor. We're also going to dig out this area right here. That area right there is what we're going to make the farm as. It's not connected yet, not to the main hallway, because I wanted to get the hallways done first. But still, it's just there for when it gets done. We're also going to make this area down here the stockpile area. We're going to make it fairly big, mainly just because it's going to have to be big. We're going to have a lot of stuff starting out. A lot of stuff that doesn't have any purpose yet, but it'll still be good to have a place to store it. Let's resume. Now we've got 3 idlers, 3 people not doing much. Let's go find out who that is real quick. So these 3, let's watch. That one dwarf's working, and then we've got 2 or 3 kind of sticking around the main area. So this guy who's a peasant, no job. That's our expedition leader, no job yet. And our stone worker, no job yet. Well, for our stone worker, we can just go to B for buildings, W for workshop, and then we can hit M for mason's workshop. And since we've dug up a little bit of stone already, we'll make him a wooden workshop. He doesn't need too much fancy stuff yet. You know, he's going to go over there. He's going to build that up right real quick. There we go. He's got that built. So we're going to hit Q and then add new task. So now that we've got a bit of stone, we can start. Depends. This is where you can kind of go off with whatever you want. For now, our dwarves are on the surface. They are basically just hanging around the wagon. We can get them to go inside if we build a meeting hall, which requires tables and chairs. Now, we can do that now, or we can start getting a military together by building a armor stand and a weapon rack. But because we don't really have anything going against us yet, we don't really even have any animal issues yet, I don't think we're going to start on that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to build a floodgate for something that we're going to have later. Floodgates for the farms, actually. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. The floodgate is going to be for the farms, and we're going to start building a couple tables and chairs so we can get them into a specific area that we want. So we're going to build, we're going to go down, we're going to build a floodgate. We're going to build a throne. A throne and chair is the same thing. We're going to build 3 thrones, and then we're going to build a couple tables. Wrong thing. So C if we cancel that. T, 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 T. And then we'll build a few more chairs. Just for the shits and giggles of it. And have his task schedule filled up. So now we've got 2 idlers. That's fine. Let's see how our minor dwarves are digging out down here. They're going at a pretty fair rate. At least they're deciding to pick up 2 different areas. And it started to rain. Oh well. Now, when the stuff is in the wagon, before we move it out of the wagon, it doesn't really get affected too much by wear and tear by being outside. But it still does slightly. Clothes in it will start to degrade. Food over a longer period of time will start to degrade. But that's why we have to start moving it indoors. And that's what we're going to be doing with these areas. And they already finished up that one hallway. Yeah, they're finished up with that. So before we build the farms, and because it's already deciding to start to rain, we're going to build a few entrances into the stockpile room. The dwarves are going to start digging that out. Now, I originally planned on doing this in the stone layer, but I decided against that just for the sake of time. Wow, it's really raining. We're going to turn this down a little bit. With the stone layer is, whenever you mine out stone it leaves behind, the stone, and this wouldn't have been a good idea to build the stockpile in, is because the stone would have taken up the room in the stockpile, and we would have had to remove the stone before we could have done anything in that area. So I decided just to build it up here. Now we're going to have a universal stockpile up here where we're going to store all our stuff for now until we get some areas down below built up. Good, bad, who knows? We'll see. So we're going to have the little dwarves working out that. We still got 3 idlers. He's still chopping down trees. The wood doesn't really degrade, so having it out there isn't a bad thing. Although, it's usually best to keep it together. But because the carpenter workshop is out there, it's not too big of an issue because the wood is right there. He doesn't have far to go, so it's no big deal. And as you can see, the little red spots is where the clay is being shown. The dwarves have been walking on that area a lot more than anywhere else, so it's kind of gotten a little bit more scuffed up, the grass there at least. You can see the water depth 7 is basically, you can just say it's feet. It's 7 feet deep. Your dwarves will drown in that. They'll drown in anything basically over 4 because they're short as fuck, so might want to remember that for the future. They're digging this area out real quick, so no harm, no foul on that. I'm trying to think of, and there we go, Althar Zulugalathor Star. Basically the Urist that is the woodcutter, or woodcutter carpenter, has finally got his job profession title. That basically just means that's what he's good at, and that's what the game says he's good at. Does it matter? No, but it makes him proud that he has a title. They've stopped working because that little blue down arrow started flashing. So what does that mean? It means they're thirsty. That means they're going to go back here to the wagon where the alcohol is, and they're going to get a drink. Now that they're going to get a drink, we need to go check on something. We need to check on our food, our alcohol. We're going to do that by hitting the Z key. Now this is our, it basically shows what all we have. We have 2 miners, a woodcutter, stone worker, and all that, and then all the other stuff. And then under food stores, kind of next to that, we have 20 meat, 20 fish, 20 plants, 80 seeds, and 90 drink. Now the reason that has a question mark beside it is because dwarves can't really count over 10. That sounds dumb, but they can't, so they kind of guesstimate at it. Now it's always going to be about around where it is, but it's not going to be any specific numbers. Later on, we can get a dwarf to specifically count everything, but because we don't have that now, the dwarves that we do have are just kind of like, oh, we kind of got this much of this, and kind of that much of that. So, nothing too specific from them, mainly because they're stupid. So, what's this? It's on the ground? Withered wild strawberries, and that's kind of my fault. I haven't got a stockpile set up, so that stuff that the one guy had been gathering, the herbalist, had been gathering its plants, he didn't have anywhere to put, so it just kind of stayed out and it's withered, it's gotten rotten, can't be used. And so these dwarves, after getting their drink, have gone down to keep working on the stockpile. Good, because now that we can tell that guy to go back to gathering plants, and now we have somewhere to put them. Dumb dwarves. Now, something I need to point out now, and it'll become an issue later, but not so much now, is you can see something on the wagon is blinking purple. That is remains. That's rat remains. Cats kill rats, insects, whatever else is not bad, but it's vermin. And they have killed it, and they just kind of left the remains out. Why? Because they're kind of lame. They're kind of really lame. We went up by accident. And you can see they're kind of up here too. Rat remains. No, that's hedgehog remains. My bad. Yeah. So they finished digging out this. So now that they finished that, we're going to set up a stockpile. What you can do with a stockpile is you can basically say, hey dwarves, put all the useless shit here. It's good for just storing stuff. So we're going to hit P for stockpiles. And instead of having a different stockpile for everything, like I said earlier, we're going to have a universal stockpile. So we're going to go to C for custom stockpile, then T for custom settings. And we're going to enable food, furniture, not corpses, refuse for stone, but ammo, coins, blocks, gems, finished goods, leather, cloth, weapons and trap, wood, and armor. Just so we can have all that stuff here. So what we did with the zones before, we're going to go into this corner, going to go up, and then over. There you go, that little brown area, not brown, but black, kind of chain link fence looking area, is the stockpile. So we're going to go up here as well, and that whole area in there is a stockpile. As you can see, we had 7 idlers, but as soon as I stopped doing that, we only have 0 now. We only have 0. As you can see, dwarves are coming in here and storing stuff. Wood, tables, chairs, everything. So, now that they've got all that bringing in here, we can start working on the farm. I know I'm going through this kind of fast, but in a way it's necessary, because if you don't do it fast, your dwarves will they'll either stop working, get lazy, or you're gonna die. Now obviously not much time has passed, but it's usually best to keep things going. And I'm gonna widen this out a little bit. So we'll have that. We'll have them bringing all that stuff, and the miner dwarves will do their profession first, usually. Now, you can get them to not haul stuff around, and we can do that with the lazy new pack. We need to go to the dwarf therapist, and we'll let them keep doing stuff like that while we do this. We go to the lazy new pack GUI, the dwarf therapist. And from here we just hit connect to Dwarf Fortress, and it will show us all our dwarves and our jobs. We also only have 2 males. I did not know this. I think our male dwarves are going to be very happy in this place. Now, it has all our jobs, mining, carpentry, all of it. Even the ones we don't even know about yet. But not that we don't know about it, that we don't have yet, like gem cutting, gem setting, and then down here at the end we have animal hauling, furniture hauling, and all that. So if we want our miners to do their job first and not to haul, we're going to hit group by, it's profession. So we're going to find our miners. Both our miners are female, unsurprising. We're going to hit these little green dots here. Going to remove the hauling laborers from them so they'll mine first, and then not do any hauling labors at all. We don't really need them to haul, we need them to dig. That's their job. The rest of them, actually we will get our woodworker to not haul as either, so that he can start building. I kind of want him to start building docks, so we're going to hit him to stop as well. Her. Now that we've done that, we've saved it. Now our miners will not do any of the hauling labors, and neither will our woodcutter. They're just going to go straight for the mining. They're going to let everyone else, basically the 3 to 4 dwarves that weren't really doing anything before, will be just hauling now. So, good, bad, I think it's good. Now that we've got that done, what I want to start to do, and what was the reason I started out here for, is I want to make docks. And to do that, we need to go to B for buildings, then we're going to go to, I think it's capital C, to get your stuff like walls, floors, ramps. Now this is artificial stuff. You can dig out the stairways that we did earlier very easily, but you cannot remove them quite as easily as these. And these also require materials. When you mine and dig stuff out, it requires just the ground, and it doesn't require anything extra on your half. But with these, you have to have a material. So with these, we're going to go and build a floor. So we're going to build it out here. We're going to hit U a bunch of times, and then K to make it a 2x2 path. And then we're going to make it out of oak logs. Why wood? Because I'm kind of a stickler for stuff like that. That just, like, it's a wooden dock. To me, that just seems the best. And we're gonna also build this right here. Is that right? I think that's the right position. No, hold on. Like that. So we can cover up that little bit of water right there, so our dwarves don't get stupid and fall in it while they're building. We're also going to make that out of oak logs, willow logs, chestnut, and maple, and then ash. So we're going to have our carpenter dwarf building that out so that they can go out and have more room to fish. Now the reason I'm just not letting them have the whole area is mainly just because for aesthetics. Now you can just have them farming wherever or fishing wherever, and it'll still work. But I want them to go out there and have that area out there. And I'm also thinking about building my fort out there as well. Like building the main part of the fort out there, but also having the underground part out here as well. And maybe even build down through the lake bed and into the ground from there as well. We'll see when we get to it. I'm not totally sure on how I plan to do it yet. It'll be interesting. So our carpenter's going to be building that. They're still hauling stuff down here. Miners... Where are our miners? Miners! Where are you? Oh, this dwarf down here is asleep. That's what the little Z stands for. I'm pretty sure you can figure that out. He is asleep. He's our farmer. Why is he asleep? Because oh, he's tired. But why is he asleep there? He doesn't have a bed. And that's a bad thing. So we're going to go back up here. We're going to go to our carpenter. We're going to make him build beds, and we're going to set that on repeat. We need a lot of beds. We're going to need a lot of beds really quickly. So what I'm planning to do, now that our miner dwarves don't have much to do, and because I need stone, what we're going to do is we're going to go down several levels. And the reason I'm doing it several levels is dwarves don't like to be woken up. And any kind of business that's going to go on up here is going to be crafting or material gathering, and we don't want our dwarves to be woken up by that. So we're going to go down a couple levels so they don't get woken up, and we're going to have our dwarven miners start digging out bedrooms. All our dwarves are going to have individual bedrooms just so that they're happy. Now they can share bedrooms, but they don't like to do that. Why? Because they're kind of, well, would you want to share a bedroom with a bunch of other dirty, stinky, hairy people? Even if you were a dirty, stinky, hairy person yourself. I didn't think so. Or if you said yes, okay then. So we're going to build out separate bedrooms for all of them. Now, a dwarf usually likes to at least have a bed and a door. But because we like to keep our dwarves happy, we're going to build it a little bit bigger than that. We're going to build 3x4 bedrooms. We're going to have a little 2x2 hallway coming out of it, like like so. Now, that's going to be the hallway, and then the 2 bedrooms on the side, and that little area right there is going to be the door. How many? We're going to have 7 of these, so we're going to put 4, 6, and then we're going to use the mouse because we're lazy. And yes, you can use the mouse to draw, and the mouse can be faster if you're good at it and you know what you're going to be building, but it can also be less accurate, especially if you're building larger areas or you want more perfect squares. So that's 8 rooms right there. We're not going to build any more. Actually, we'll set up this here, but we're not going to connect it. We don't need it yet. We're also not going to connect that because we don't need it yet either. And because we don't want them to be digging constantly, we will go to X for remove designation, and we're going to cut that off too. So that when the miner dwarves get down here, they're just going to dig out that little path and then the bedrooms down. So let's hit resume. Let's see, are the dwarves going to even, miner dwarves even, now the one miner dwarf is asleep. Now that we've got them set up building bedrooms, we can also have them setting up farms, or at least our farmer dwarf setting up farms. And he's not asleep anymore, so we can do that. So we're going to go to B for buildings, and then P for farm plot. Now this works similar to the floors from before, where U, M, K, and H kind of dictate the size. And we're going to make these... I'm going to make that right here. Now he's not set that up yet, so we can't put any seeds on it yet. We're going to put one here. I'm going to make this one the same size and put it up here. Basically going to have 4 little farm plots all next to each other. There we go. Now we got our 4 farm plots. The farmer will come up and set these up here in a minute. Not quite sure how long it's going to take him, but he shouldn't have too much else on his plate to worry about. Now, if you want to build a farm plot, it has to be on sand, and badger boar is a enraged. That's not a good thing. A farm plot has to be built on sand, dirt, or mud. Now, you can make mud anywhere with water. If we wanted to, we could make a farm plot down here on the dirt, or not the dirt, but the stone. But we'd have to run water over it to put a layer of mud on it, which can get wiped away by too much walking on it. But for me, I think because we've got our stockpile up here and our farm, it's just easier to put it up here for now. Later on, we could do whatever we want with our farms, but for now, I'd like them here. It just seems like it'd be for the best for now. Now, I set up the 2 farm plots. Now we're going to hit Q, and we're going to set what we want to be placed here during each season. For spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And I want this one just to be straight plump helmets. Plump helmets all year, every year. And the same for over here. Plump helmets are good for most everything. So we're going to set every year, every month, plump helmets in those 2 spots. For the other 2, we're going to switch out wheat and dimple cups and maybe at least 1 season of plump helmets. But for now, no. As you can see, the cats have kind of gotten down here. And they've been killing rats that have been trying to go at the food, but they've been leaving the remains around. And that's bad. Dwarves don't like seeing that around. So to solve that issue, we're going to make we're basically going to set up an area that dwarves will haul basically remains and refuge to. Way out here. Now the reason we're doing it out here is because stuff like that generates miasma. Miasma being basically just like a poisonous cloud that makes dwarves unhappy. So we're going to have a windy little passage right there. Because we don't really have too many dwarves coming in here at the same time. And at least in 2 areas right here, we're going to use doorways. Basically kind of to use it as an airlock system. When one door opens, the other door won't be open. So that when that miasma that's going to be in there won't seep out. Now we could always make ventilation system and a ventilation shaft if we want to make these farther underground to be exposed to the outside air. But we're not going to get that complicated yet. Maybe later, but not now. Now, our farmer's still working on that. Let's go back down to see how our dwarves are doing with the bedrooms. They're done! Surprising, they've been working very fast today. I like that. So we're going to have them continue digging that out. I think we're going to set up some more rooms to be dug. Dug funny. So we're going to set up more rooms because 7 dwarves isn't all we're going to have. You get more dwarves over time in one of 2 ways. Either by them breeding, or migration waves. Migration waves usually being the better source long term, while breeding can get you a few babies. Well, no, migration is better short term, but babies are better long term because sometimes you might not get migration waves. And that's not a good thing. If you don't get migration waves and you were counting on it, you're kind of screwed. Babies, on the other hand, are kind of annoying to deal with because they eat, but they don't work. But what you gonna do? Right? So we're gonna set up more rooms down here to be dug out. The main reason I'm doing this is not because we need this many rooms yet, but I want the stone that they'll get, and I need the miner dwarves to start training to mine out better stuff. The better they are at mining, the more likely they are to get ore from an ore deposit. The less likely they are, the less their mining skill is, the less likely they are to get the ore. So if I have them mining a lot now, they'll get better at mining, and when we do run into ore, when we dig down, it's more likely we'll get it. And I don't like leaving things up to chance. I mean, I don't mind leaving a few things up, but when it comes to ore is God. Ore is good! And I'm using my mouse because I kind of got lazy. The laziness of the lazy noob pack. But yeah, so we're going to have a lot of stone from this, and we'll be able to start building on the surface with this. Now, a lot of people like to just build underground and build lots of traps, lots of stuff like that, but I don't like that quite as much as other people. What I like to do is I like to build walls. I like to build big walls, little walls, moats, and stuff like that. I'll even show you an example, probably near the end of this set of videos, about one of my most successful fortresses and just about how it worked out with it. I had to use a lot of pumps in that one because I have a moat of lava on the surface, and that took a lot of work to get. But the fortress is also about 1,000 years old too. Been through 2 reclaims, and still has a fair amount of people in it at this point. I think there's also a forgotten beast wandering around in the caverns that I closed up down there too. We don't have to worry about that now, it's something different. So, he's actually started on the farms already. He has planted... He's planted pump helmets! There we go, we're starting farming, we're starting to do it! Yeah! I think I'm going to build a path through here, so that when the miners do get up here, they can build that out, and the farmer has a little bit more access to the universal stockpile. And now that we've got all that started to get set up, we're going to go down here. Actually, yeah, we'll go right here. And we're going to start digging out... Yes, we're gonna do it on this level. We're gonna start digging out a meeting hall and areas for our dwarves to work in. Now, workshops are almost always 3x3. Now, there are a few exceptions like siege workshops and kennels, but we don't really need those at this point. So we're going to build... We're going to build a hallway down this way. Digging out, not build. And then right here, we're going to set up a... It's a cafeteria. It's a cafeteria slash meeting hall, so... Yes, you can also hit shift and the arrow keys to move a fair bit of distance at once. So we're going to have that to be a meeting hall. And we're going to build a workshop area. Now, the reason I build workshop areas, yeah, I'm going to show you how I build the workshop areas. And it's for one simple reason. Later on we're going to find that certain dwarves like to get really annoying. And by that I mean, if they'll ask for certain things for certain reasons, And if they don't get them, they'll go on a rampage. Now, they'll always stay in the workshop until they get what they need, but eventually they will start killing shit. So we're going to have our workshops in these very specific little areas. So if we do get those doors, and we might not be, and if by chance we don't get the materials they want, we can just kind of lock them in there and just throw away the key until they kill themselves. Now this might sound very deranged and very fucked up in the head, but it's in general a better idea than letting them go on a rampage. Now obviously our minor dwarves are... No, we'll cancel all this. We'll cut that off so that they don't keep digging down here. We'll let them keep digging, but we don't really need anything else yet. Interrupted by a badger boar. Let's see where this was. A badger boar is up here near that, so... Badger boars aren't really a problem. 9 times out of 10... Yeah, see, this is a dead badger boar right there because our dogs are like, "Fuck you, badger boar!" And they killed it, so no harm, no foul. Cancels dig, interrupted by badger boar. Are you serious? There's badgers down here. There's badgers down in our fort. Damn. Them are some really persistent badgers. I'll give them that. But they're badgers nonetheless, so there's no real issue there. I will just let them dig out these first rooms in each of these hallways. So yeah, we got the badgers. Badgers being annoying. Lots of badgers actually. The bees are the badgers. So why has he not built these? He just hasn't gotten to them. We've set up a lot. I've set up a lot for these dwarves to do, and there's blood everywhere here. There's a dead badger in that water. Spattering of blood. Oh, fuck. And these walls are just covered in it. There's blood everywhere right here. It's hard to tell the difference between the clay and the blood, but it's not pretty right there. Now this is outside, so it will get washed away eventually. And what's going on right here? Firefly, oh, there's remains on the workshop, so it's kind of flashing like, hey, right here. I have not gotten to digging this out yet because I didn't actually set it get dug out because I'm an idiot. So we'll set that. We've got a lot for our dwarf stuff. We've got a lot set up for our dwarves to do. Digging, mining, stuff like that. Farming, mostly farming. Now that I'm thinking about it, now that we've got a lot of stone, I think we're going to start building. I set him to make chairs, and we're just going to set that on repeat. We've also got him to construct beds on repeat. So let's go down here. We're going to hit build for B for build, and then beds, and let's see how many we can put from. He's got 1 bed made. Maybe we've got a little bit too much for them. Nah, never too much. They'll always do. They'll always get done with it. Because we're just starting out, we don't have too much to worry about yet, so it's no big deal now. We're going to go to T, no not T, but Q, and we're going to remove the wagon. The reason for this is there's just a few items in it that they don't want to move yet. Why? They're kind of lazy sometimes. That's not always a bad thing, but it's still annoying. Plus we'll get a little bit extra wood from it, and the dwarves will stop just kind of hanging around it. We can set up a meeting hall. The dwarves started digging that out. Very good. They finished. They didn't finish down there. They just kind of stopped caring. They've kind of been splitting their efforts a little bit. And they've kind of gotten to the point where they get rock from just about everything they dig out. So that's good. That's very good actually. It's still raining though, man. It's been raining for a while. Let's actually go to A for announcement. It's been a couple months. The 11th of Fell Sign. Because we started in the year 333 and it's early in the next year, so it's been a month or two. Not had too much accomplished in this video set, but can't expect much this early. Now then, I'm going to set these guys to go do whatever they want to do, and I'm going to show you guys the other 4 that I was talking about earlier. Kind of give you an idea of what I plan to do with this place. So I will see you in just 1 second. Alright everybody, and welcome back to Dwarf Fortress. Well, not Dwarf Fortress, but to my more advanced for that I've been working on for a while. This is one that I had had for quite a long time. I think it's about 1,000 years in development. Not like real development, but in game. I've got big walls, pretty tall walls actually. That's the top that they can even shoot off of. Even got buildings that I've had magma pumped into so I can have magma furnaces built pretty high up. I've done a lot in this place. It's pretty deep. I have a wood farm. This is my bedrooms, and there's the medical wing. We recently had a kind of a little bit of an invasion, and some people got hurt. Had some people die. And these are my refuse areas. Kind of got lots of bones, lots of miasma, and that's what I've been using these doors for. Kind of like the airlock system. This is the up here is the, how you say, cemetery. More turtle shell, stuff like that. Training room. It's the old training room. The new training room is up here on the surface that all the military guys train here with. Mainly just so I can keep them from getting too used to the underground. And then I got the water supply, and then over here is where the animals are, and for some reason this one's dead. What is this? I have no idea what that is, but it's dead nonetheless. Had some magma troubles at one point. That's what all this obsidian was here for. That did not end well. But I will say that this is, but I think it all worked out in the end. And right here's where a jail is going to be. What the hell's this? An alpaca wool. I guess that kind of got destroyed. Have the dining hall right up here that everybody goes into. I have a lot in this place. Then as we go down, right down here is the it's basically inventory stocks. Everything I have. This massive, like this one box has, these are boxes by the way, the brown with black X's are boxes. Silver bars, copper bars, I got a lot of stuff, mostly copper. I've had a lot of trouble in this world for one reason or another, mainly because I don't have access to any other metal besides copper. And it hasn't harmed me in the long term, but it's still not been the greatest of things. And as we go down here, we found a cavern. Lots of stuff down here, lots of stuff that got spread out last time everyone got wiped out. Still corpses down there. Still have ghosts running around too. Had a lot of issues with this, and yeah, there's the ghostly miner right there who we were never able to recover his corpse, so he's none too happy. And he just kind of wanders the halls. He's not evil, but he's not none too kindly either. We also have I also have specific names for the dwarves. Like he's a product dwarf because he works within the creation of food byproducts. Good, bad, whatever you want to call it. Another thing that I have is there's another ghost hiding beneath him. He is a ghostly elite wrestler. I don't know where the hell his body is. And to be honest, he's not bad. He's not bad. He doesn't seem to cause any problems. He just kind of sticks around this area. And none of the other dwarves seem to mind him. And these guys are... He's a slave, so he doesn't have much to do besides train. And he sustained major injury. Yeah, he was in the fight. He's all rested up, though. We actually have a pretty big military in this one. Let's see, military. Yeah. 90 soldiers, 70 active. That's a lot, actually. Didn't think I had that many. For some reason, they will not move these gems. Or this artifact. I don't know why. No matter what I tell them to do. Like, let's go to D. No, I don't. We'll do that some other time. I cannot get them to move that. Also, all this area out here was burned burned several wars ago, and it's very slowly regrew. Like this down here is just stone that I smoothed out the land with, and this stuff up here is just like ashes, just burns. And those used to be murky pools, but I've kind of done a lot of terrascaping in this world. So this is like I don't think I even gathered up everything from that war. Yeah, there's a silver arrow. that somebody just kind of left lying around. The trees somehow survived the fire. I don't quite know why or how, but they did. So we can see civilizations. We are at war. I am at war with goblins and elves in this one. So, and these magma moats are a godsend. They have saved me more times than I can count. The reason there's not anything built on this level is because I had stuff built, but I moved it, and I've not quite figured out what I was going to do with these rooms yet. But they come in handy just being around. What is this up with this? Oh, it's a foal. Why is a foal up here? I guess he was born recently and I just never moved him. Oh, well. Could be worse, right? Let's go to I for zones. We'll put him in this bin up here. That was there's a couple things that have been born recently, I guess. Oh well, they'll get moved. I have about 100 and... not that. I hate that. That always gets open. I have 112 dwarves. Got woodworkers, stoneworkers. He's new. He hasn't been put into it. 18 slaves. He's new too. Product dwarves. I've got a lot of stuff. I've got 5 miners. This should tell you a little bit of something about how much work has gone into this fort. There's my doctors. I have to have a lot of doctors because I get ambushed pretty often, to be honest. And we flooded that area recently for more farmland. I think if we go to Z, this is just kind of to show you what I was talking about with the numbers. I have somebody who can keep track of everything, so all the numbers here are very specific. Like there's no question mark. It's like exact to the T. I have quite a lot of seeds, drink, everything. I don't have too much to worry about here, so I've just been pissing off everyone I can and getting in bigger and bigger wars. And this world here also has a bit of a mod to make wars a little bit more exciting, up to the point where I think I fight like the goblins and the elves come at the same time at this point, so I fight about 200 enemies at about the same time, and I lose people. I mean, I've been all the way up to 170 people this round with the fort, and I've lost a lot. I've lost a lot. I'm just gonna go through here. Yeah, we got a lot of stone, stocks, health. You know, we've got a lot of dwarves who are they have been beaten up. They've been beaten up bad. Like that, just like down here is just a bunch of trees, like not trees, but like tower caps, which is basically just giant mushrooms which you can use as trees. And that guy right there, man, he's just been having a hell of a time. And then, like I said, there's a lot of corpses in there, a lot of enemy corpses too. And there's blood in this room because something I tried a long time ago ended up in an area above here collapsing. Yeah. Which caused someone to fall through this, and then to fall through. I think it wasn't through here, but it had fallen when we were building this. Yeah, see, it's a rough dolomite block there. I built this wrong, and so a dwarf had fallen all the way from here, down through here, and into his own room, and had died. So, poor guy, just could not. That guy was unlucky as hell, though. He really was. We got a lot of roads, a lot of walls. I like to build walls, just because this whole fort is basically can be self-contained, and I can raise that bridge, which has quite a fall to it, with spikes at the bottom of it. So if anything tries to be like, I can jump over this, then they'll just hit the bridge that's being lifted up, and they'll fall down and get impaled with spikes, which has to be cleaned up later, but still. There's also a lot of blood on this bridge. Buzzard blood, brother blood, goblin blood, elk bird blood, don't ask. Yeah, right here, right here is where the main fighting goes. Like, there's troll blood, all kinds of goblin blood, voracious cave crawler ichor, all sorts of stuff. So this is kind of to give you an idea of the kind of forts I build, so that in the main series you can see kind of the direction I'm planning to go. If it becomes requested, I might do a couple episodes on this, just to show kind of the daily life and the routine of what I have to do to keep this one running. But don't expect it too much soon. I've got a lot to do on the other one. So I hope everybody enjoyed today's set of videos. This is either going to be 2 or 4, depending on how I split it up. So I hope everybody enjoyed, and I will see you tomorrow.